Hey everyone, it's me again. Wanted to share what I've been doing in Synthesis League. Um, Kind of have to rephrase that because I actually haven't been specifically playing hardcore Synthesis. I am actually playing in a private league right now. And if you have a keen eye, you can see some nasty stuff going on here. I am now playing in Project PT's private league. It's called Actual Hardcore No Lube All Mods League. If you guys aren't familiar with private leagues, basically you guys probably might be are familiar with private leagues, but basically when you create a private league, there's a bunch of selections of different mods you can just add to the league if you want, just to make the game harder. There's no added benefit to it, so you don't get like increased drops or anything like that. There's none of that. It just simply just makes the game harder for the sake of challenge. And what's really special about this league, as you can maybe tell by the title, it's all mods. So I'm just gonna come in here and I'll kind of just like show you guys what that is if you guys haven't played in private leagues before. So the first one's called Famine. Life, Mana, Energy Shield, and Flasks are not refilled in towns. This one isn't super big, but if you ever want to refill your flasks, now you just can't teleport out and teleport back in. You have to teleport out, go to a different zone, kill some mobs, go back, and then teleport back in. So you can't just telly to town and then telly back in. It's not that simple. But this one doesn't really do all that much. 40% more monster life. Obviously, this is a pretty dangerous mod, just in the sense that mobs last longer. So yeah, pretty scary one. Then we have just the standard turbo. Monsters fire 2 additional projectiles. This is one of the big ones. The thing with these mods is they are present in every encounter, in every map, in every zone. So this monsters fire 2 additional projectiles applies to bosses, and like this includes campaign bosses. This includes stuff like Azaro. So with Azaro, one attack he has is that mirage thing on top of his head that fires the barrage, and it fires like 5 of those green missiles. So when he fires 5 of those green missiles, that counts as 1 projectile. So with 2 additional projectiles, he fires not like 5 of those things, but he fires like 15 of them. And when he fires it, it shoots and it creates some skeletons. And so with this mod, he shoots not 5, but 15, and then it creates like 15 skeletons. So this mod may not really look like much, but it really affects everything. Like those stone statues that come off of the little pedestal they sit on. Usually when they throw the spear, it's just 1 spear. But with this mod, it's fucking 3 spears. This affects stuff like porcupines, those quill shooting fucking things. Like, this affects literally everything. Everything shoots more shit. And this is a very scary mod. The next 3 are just literally added elemental damage of all elemental types. The big thing about this one is if you get crit, you will get shocked, ignited, and chilled. So yeah, that's pretty scary. Especially paired with the fact that if I jump down to this one, players have negative 40 all res. You start with negative 40 all res literally from the start of the game. So yeah, pretty scary. Stashes cannot be used, so as you can see, my entire inventory is basically, everything that I own is in my inventory right here. The other significance to this is that if you die, you lose everything. Like, you literally lose everything. You don't lose everything, so it keeps stuff like I assume it would keep stuff like your Atlas progression, it would keep your Trials progression like in like normal lab, but you lose all your items essentially. So it keeps like the game progression of these end game things, but you lose all your items. So that's a pretty big one. I think the most difficult one is this one right here. Items cannot be sold to or purchased from NPCs. This is especially difficult when it comes to finding gems. Because with this mod, you cannot buy gems from vendors. So you are limited to the gems you receive from quest rewards, and additionally, pretty much the only other main way to find gems in leagues that have this mod is to go to lab and farm labyrinth troves until you get a gem box, and you hopefully hope that after a certain amount of runs you'll get the gem you're looking for. I still haven't gotten the gem I'm looking for. I am playing a Inquisitor, or not an Inquisitor, fucking Hierophant. I'm doing totems, but as you can see, I am using Holy Flame Totem, and you're probably like, what the fuck? Why is he using Holy Flame Totem? My original plan was to go Spell Totem, Frostbolt Spell Totem, so I have a Frostbolt leveling somewhere here. I don't know where it is. Here it is. But my plan was to go Frostbolt Spell Totem. I didn't take into account that you don't get Spell Totem as a quest reward as a Templar. So I'm now level 42 and I still don't have a Spell Totem. And that's why I'm using Holy Flame Totem. So it does stuff like this where, usually these gems where you can just go to town, buy a gem, and get your setup going, can't really do that as easily here. It applies to other things like Immortal Claw, cast when damage taken. Like, that's a pretty standard setup a lot of builds use, but if you're playing in this league, that's kind of a luxury almost. So pretty interesting there. Items cannot drop as magic or rare. This one's also quite interesting. Basically, you have to use your currency. This one, it may sound a bit like impactful, but I guess it's not like as crazy as it really seems. I mean, it definitely still does make the game much harder. But the fact of the matter is since we only have the inventory, you still have to use your currency anyways. So this one isn't super crazy, but it definitely still does affect the game. So you can't just, find some rare rings or stuff like that, an ideum, and find a crazy rare ring. So that can't happen here. You can still get uniques to drop. So uniques can still drop, which is how I got things like this Peregrine or the Wanderlust here. So uniques can still drop, but basically it's only white items or uniques. So everything else has to be crafted. So as you can see, all this other gear that I have is basically crafted gear. So none of this dropped naturally, which is pretty interesting. So I already went over the all-res and then memory fragments. Yeah, so that's the synthesis. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing now. This is Project PT's private league. I'll put the league info in the description below, so if you guys want to try this out. Personally, I am honestly kind of bored of regular synthesis, even in hardcore synthesis. The mechanic of the league is just kind of weird. I think Mathel's video that he put up today summarized it quite well. It's just kind of a clusterfuck league that's a little hard to understand. So yeah, I wasn't really about it, and I also hated Betrayal. I hate the fact that you get literally no rewards. With every single Betrayal encounter you only get like 1% to a safe house, and it's just like, the fuck is the point, So the Betrayal has been super annoying as well, so I'm just like, fuck all that. And I switched to this league, and the fun thing about this league is beating the campaign in and of itself is an accomplishment in this league. So that's what I've been trying to do here. So I'm level 42 now. This is my second character. The league plays much differently. So you may just think, oh, the mobs hit harder. You have to, just take a longer time to kill them. But it actually changes the entire play style. For example, usually if it's league start, you run straight to Hillock, you face tank Hillock, you kill Hillock, no problem. You go into town, you buy your gems, and you go. In this league, it's completely it's almost a different game. So with this league, for example, the way I had to start was, first of all, Hillock was insane. As a Templar, you get Glacial Hammer, which is a piece of crap. to kill Hillock with Glacial Hammer with all those mods that I just showed you guys, it took me about 15 to 20 attempts. So for me to get out of Twilight Strand, it took me about half an hour. That just kind of goes to show how hard this league can be, and how much the game changes. So before I actually even like killed Hillock, I was farming zombies. I killed some zombies. I tried to get some gear. I mainly tried to get a shield, so I had some block chance. So it does stuff like that where it really kind of fundamentally changes the game. So you really have to play differently. You have to play a lot more slowly. You have to farm a lot more. You actually really have to farm even during the campaign. So not just farming maps or farming these endgame things. You actually have to farm during the campaign. Much like you did back when Dried Lake was a thing. Nowadays, you may be able to farm blood aqueducts for like 5 levels, but it's not really anything. Here, you really have to farm. Another example, I was doing lower prison. You cannot go into Brutus at level 9 with 200 HP. You're gonna die. Like, you're just gonna die. So I had to get this character to about level 12 or 13, and I had to get about 350 life before I was able to kill Brutus. So it's things like that where you just really have to be over leveled. You have to farm much more, and it just takes a lot of patience. So it's a really cool league. Honestly, it feels like an entirely different Path of Exile when I play this. But it gets a little better. It gets a little easier. I'd say the main difficulty is definitely Act 1. Act 1 is definitely probably the hardest act initially. Then it starts to get a little easier. Then it sort of starts to feel like regular Path of Exile again. But some encounters and some usually trivial bosses are very dangerous, such as Hillock. So really cool league. If you guys want to try out something else, just something different, I definitely recommend trying this league. It's super fun. I think Project PT is adding more slots into the league, so hopefully if you request an invite, you should get in. So definitely give this league a try if you're getting kind of tired of Synthesis and all the betrayal bullshit. Try this league out because this shit's intense. I'll see you guys next time.